And welcome back to RFL, everybody. As we obviously showed you, we are joined today by former Republican Congressman from Connecticut and now Senate hopeful Chris Shays. And next month, he has got a very important race for himself. He's in the primary against Linda Mcmahon, who was the party's Senate nominee in 2010 and obviously lost. She has been funding much of both campaigns, it seems, all by herself. McMahon, of course, known not just for how she spends her money, but also how she and her family made it as the former CEO of the WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, best known for, as you see, the stage fights, rampant steroid use, treatment women, issues that have come up again and again, not just in that campaign, but in this one as well. Latest numbers have McMahon, according to Quinnipiac, ahead by a pretty healthy margin there after a lead was 9 points back in March. We saw the polls from Quinnipiac. You obviously did yourself. Where is the race right now? Have you done any internals? Is that number right? It's got an almost 30 points here to separate you guys.
We always knew we were in pretty much a dead heat with the Democratic candidate, and we always knew we were behind. And we were making some headway, and then, you know, she spent some good money to advertise. Not a criticism that she did it, because it made the spread, but it's a paper-thin spread. And what I need to...
So the polls are wrong?
No, it's just paper-thin. It doesn't show the intensity. It doesn't show who's going to come out and vote. The two things that happen in the summer, who votes in the summer, and then the second thing is who votes in a primary. And we're banking on that my voters are going to be more motivated than her voters. So if I win this primary, I'm not going to be surprised. A lot of other people will. If I win the primary, I think I become a Scott Brown race. I think that this race will get the attention of a lot of people around the country. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I just make the point to people, we both she's had her activities, I've had mine. I've been in an arena that I think is very valuable. I served in Congress, I served in the State House. I've listened, learned, helped, and led, worked 24/7 for so many years in an arena that's tough. I think I have the experience, I think I have the knowledge, and I think I have the courage to do it. She's been in a different arena.
This is going to sound like a softball, maybe it is, but I mean this. And I know I speak for these two guys, and I talked to your buddy, former Congressman Rob Simmons, who's a frequent guest on the show as well. And I said the same thing to him. What's her appeal? I don't get it in that you're a well-liked guy in Connecticut, moderate, one of the few left around, but you kept your nose clean, you never got in trouble, and no one's ever said you're not competent. I don't get the appeal given how and where she came from.
I don't want to make the arguments for her, but she's had 4 years to campaign, and she spent so far she spent $61 million.
But I haven't met one person in the state of Connecticut who, after seeing the ads, has really been moved that this is somebody who's going to get Connecticut back to work, let alone the U.S., or this is an inspired campaign of ideas. People know what the WWE is. I don't know how that's a major calling card to get elected.
Well, I knew when I was running that it would be difficult to run against someone with the resource she had. I also knew that if you're relatively smart, you're going to learn from your mistakes. I think she's spent her money more effectively, and I think she's been more careful not to have it seem so obscene. But the one thing that has surprised me, she is still clueless on the issues. And she doesn't seem, I would have thought after 4 years that every day, you know, knowing she's going to run again, she would be studying these issues. She doesn't want to meet with the boards, editorial boards. She's not having any kind of environment where she has to respond extemporaneously. She's only having 2 debates with me. And, you know, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying it's a fact, and I hope that people start to pay attention to it.
The styles between you two couldn't possibly be any different. You're always on an even keel. She seems like a very angry
person. Oh, in the break
person.
She yells at all of us, don't
But I mean, do you think that is a factor? And are there a lot of angry Republicans who like the idea of an angry candidate?
Well, I think that both candidates can be angry sometimes. I think people, you know, I think people want us to work together and find common ground, and they don't like us bickering back and forth. This is the first time I've really wanted to make sure people do see the difference.
If you had $50 million to spend like her, Would you spend it on a race?
No, I was almost tempted to go to her and say, $3 million, I'll get out of the race. No, I think I could have run her first race and had her spend 25, and she would have been far more effective. But let me just say this to you. We got to grow the economy. And 15 million people unemployed is not normal. $1 trillion deficits aren't normal. 1.6% growth. For 200 years, our economy grew on average 4%. That means every 18 years, the wealth of your nation doubles. When the wealth of your nation doubles, that's when you have the American dream. Every generation better than the next. And that's what we got to get back to, and that's what I think I can do. I think I can get us to a point where we're starting to focus on really what's important. How do you grow the economy? Whatever it takes.